Okay, I think we're good enough to kind of start right now. Hey, how's everyone doing? We're doing this a little bit earlier today, just because I know that some people were saying that when I start these things, it's like around 12 o'clock at night. Oh, crap, I forgot to turn off I gotta mute this window so no funny business pops up and there's no echoes. What the hell's that? Oh yeah, YouTube. I had some other channel open. There we go. In fact, I'll just hide that for now. I may do a little something something. I found a really neat public domain cartoon, and we may check that out. But beforehand, let's just see. I really should bring up that secondary window. There we go. Just plop that right there. Bring up my references. Reposition everything. Come on, just get in there. Oh, and while I'm doing all this, someone brought up a good point. They were asking me who's the artist, and to be perfectly honest, who's the artist of these references? And to be perfectly honest, I can't really tell from their name. Can anyone? If you know that, drop a line in the chat, and that would be great. Oh, and I've also moved the mic back a little bit, and then increased the volume, just because I was getting some real heavy breathing. Of course, I put it right under me, and I started talking to it. Now it's a little off to the side. Oh, and it's not even bolted to the ground. I got this little suction cup thing. There. Hopefully that'll work fine. Let's see. But yeah, let's just get started. Right now, I'm just going to be working, putting the finishing details, doing a little skull, maybe adding a tail, and then putting some of these little embroidered, I don't know, flowers on the end, and then we'll start working on Dupree. Okay, design's perfect. Okay. I got that, and I got my reference. This is all I need for now. Let me open up a second one. Good, very good. And it froze. It frickin' froze again. Damn it, mother. Okay. Okay, this is the only one I really need right now. So that'll do fine. Okay, so things that are happening today. Not much. It's kind of the first break that I've kind of had. I put Christmas up yesterday, and that took about half the morning. And then I went shopping. So this is kind of the first day that I just had to kind of sit around and decompress after the holidays. I was a little bad. I drew something during the day, and I probably should have streamed it. I could have streamed it, but for some reason I just didn't want to. By the time I thought about doing it, I was like halfway done with the sketching, and I don't know, I was just kind of wanted to do it on my own. But anyway, this is a little request I got off of 4chan. Someone wanted the Skelebros, Papyrus and Sans, to be dating the two twins from Book of Life. And yeah, I just put them on a little date. One of them saying Have you ever heard of spaghetti westerns? And Papyrus is eternally losing his shit. And of course, Sans putting the moves on Patchy here. You can find this in a link. I put a bunch of links and frequently asked questions in the description to this video. If you follow where you can find my artwork, you can totally see it. Oh, and yes, I know that there was a new Steven Universe tonight, but I didn't watch it. I know kind of what happened thanks to Tumblr. Again, I was just looking through Tumblr, and all of a sudden I see things I shouldn't have seen, or things I'd like to have seen later. Come on, let's do this. I don't know how that look. I'm gonna finish the skulls. Looks interesting, and I also know that there was some sort of leaked promo that went on. I'm gonna be smart tonight. I'm just gonna clip and paste. Where does this need to go? It needs to go here. Yeah, I know that there was some sort of promo that leaked, and it showed Lapis Lazuli alive and well and separated from Jasper. So that's a thing. And Peridot, despite losing all her arms and legs, or her cool design that I really enjoyed, she is still adorable. So, yeah. I was really upset when she lost those cool arms and legs. I figured that was a part of her. I figured that was part of the development of the species. Like when Lapis went back to the homeworld and says, "Oh man, things have just gotten so crazy. You know, everything's more advanced." I figured that would be part of it. But no, they were just limb enhancers. And I don't know who made up the fan theory that they were limb enhancers. Or if that was like something maybe a staff member leaked or whatever. I remember looking at it and thinking, oh, I don't like that. And it came true, but that's okay because they still made the character interesting and cute. See, I'm totally opening to you doing things that I don't like as long as you still write things that save it. Because she's still she's a different character now. She's learning about Earth and interesting ways. I recall you drawing Transformers animated fan art at one point. Any feeling towards any other Transformers franchise? When did I draw Transformers? Oh, yeah, I drew probably... You're probably thinking of Black Arachnia. I was going to call her Arachnophenia, which is still a pretty good name. Oh, I should do Miss Muffet. Either Black Naraki, BA as Miss Muffet or Miss Muffet as Black Arachnia. Let's see now. And of course, taking my time and drawing that own thing on my own today kind of reminded me something I learned over the past year of doing a drawing a day, and that's just not to worry too much. I mean, kind of go with the flow. When I first started this, I was real nervous, and I was kind of looking at everything else and watching the chat and kind of not really feeling comfortable about talking. Now I think I'm a little bit looser. I'll be able to do a little bit more risks, and that'll benefit the whole drawing getting done faster. Always remember that it's okay if the first sketch is a little weird or wonky. You can always adjust the size. Just get it kind of out there. And of course, in a pinch, you can always copy and flip things. Because this is supposed to be kind of symmetrical. This little pattern, it's just it's just a little pattern, one part of it. Let's see, does anyone have any questions for me? Like, I don't know. I think someone asked me about how I felt about the Ben 10 universe. I was like, I like the original Ben 10, the original series. Didn't quite like the ongoing the Ultimate Alien, all that stuff. Omniverse was kind of a step forward, but I don't know. I just kind of lost interest at that point, and even then, I wasn't really blown away by Omniverse. Hey CR, you should do T-shirts. You should do T-shirts. Punish. You get 10% off sales. Huh. Oh, Aeon Flux. I don't know. I think, is that movie? No, don't really have an opinion about it. What are my thoughts about the reboot? Reboot. I kind of liked Reboot. I enjoyed it as a kid. Really didn't get into, really wasn't comprehending what it was about when it first showed up. So I didn't really enjoy it to its fullest. I don't know, that one looks weird. No, it's fine. It'll get lost in the thing. How do I feel about the reboot? I hear they're doing some live action stuff with it, which might be a little bit weird. Like they're actually going to meet some humans or something. Oh. I don't know. Well, I just pasted again. I don't know, I think that might be a little bit weird, but it makes sense. I think a bunch of those studios were doing that kind of thing. Does anyone remember, like, I know there's vampires, but there's a bunch of, like, British shows where, and they used to come on, what was it, BKN or something? Channel 45 used to have a channel, or a little segment called BKN Kids, and they would show, like, I don't know, I forget what it was, Sonic the Hedgehog, and, what was it? Starship Troopers, Roughnecks, that kind of stuff. And there was one where this kid, a bunch of his video games come to life, and one of them was a weird staff. I forget, I gotta look it up now. That's fine. This is kind of detailed and it'll get lost in the bigger picture, but you gotta still need to go in and kind of get the right color though. What the hell's going on? I'm not even on the right layer. What do I think about the 2011 Looney Tunes show? I remember the Nostalgia Critic talking about it. I can't remember if you did. No, I didn't really talk about it that much. I don't know. I thought it was okay. I thought it was fine. I didn't really engage in it. I mean, I didn't really watch it. I think season 2 episodes were better than season 1, the ones I caught. I think they were probably getting a little bit more. It's more of it's more of a classic sitcom setup with all their stuff, like going to the DMV and dating. It's not. It's Looney Tunes, but it's not. You know, there's no. I think the one episode that actually came close to being like Looney Tunes was when Bugs's cable went out and he had to kind of mess with a turtle in order to get it back on, and he was in a bunch of disguises, and he messed with Daffy, or Daffy was part of the cable company or something. I think that's the closest thing to it being classic Looney Tunes, pardon me. Tiny Toons. I'm just stretching my arms. Let's see now. Lola was okay. The redesign. I mean, here's the thing. Lola was a bit of a. I still have to do a video on Lola, but just for a real quick summary about how I felt her transformation or her new iteration was. It was good. I think she was like the funniest character on the series. But on the other hand, it's like, congratulations, you made another kind of dumb blonde joke. I mean, I think what was the girl's name? The girl duck. I thought she was actually a pretty cool character. It was interesting. That was another pretty good episode where Daffy asks her out on her first date. And I just didn't know. I figured it was going to be like a Jersey Shore joke, but she actually turned out to be really kind of intelligent. And she still has the best line in the whole series, where Porky was waiting for Daffy to take him out to dinner. And then she peeks out of the top of the limo with Daffy, and Porky's like, "Hey, I thought we were gonna go out, and I thought you were gonna take me out to that dinner." And then she says to Porky, "Oh gosh, I'm sorry, Porky. I think I ate your dinner." And he says, "How did you know my name?" And she says, "I didn't. I was just calling you Porky because that's the way you look." So yeah, I kind of liked that. I liked her. Like I said, and she was a smarter character than she let on. I figured it was just going to be one long, huge Jersey Shore joke. I was like, oh yeah, that one episode of South Park for how many plus episodes? This is going to be great. And like I said, I think the best material came from Lola because she was actually kind of loony. Would do crazy things like, I don't know, obsess over muffins and things like that. She was a good foil for Daffy, I know, for his escapades, because Bugs would kind of just look at Daffy and just stare at him for a little bit and then leave him alone. And it's going for more or less go for than anything actual loony or toony. I like the Gophers. I think that was pretty good that they explored some of the other characters. I like the fact that Foghorn Leghorn ran a business. I thought he showed up. I thought they used him pretty well and in a different way than I've ever seen before. So I like that, and I like they teamed him up with Daffy, because he kind of seemed like he was doing, or at least, I don't know, he seemed to surround himself with people who knew what they were doing, but whenever Daffy showed up and kind of showed, I don't know, some sort of nonchalant or gumption or something, he would always be impressed with Daffy. What's going on? Oh, I don't know why, but all of a sudden it says my thing is terrible. Um, is the podcast still working for you guys? I don't know what happened. Let's see. My signal's still good. Maybe I've got too many windows open. Tell you what, I'm gonna close some of this stuff. Huh. I closed a bunch of windows. I'm gonna close some programs. Weird. Okay, now it's back on perfect. So, you guys good? Huh. Okay, now people are telling me it's working now. Now I've been using this, I use two different kind of broadcasters. This one's called Mishara. I should put that in the frequently asked questions. It goes great with my laptop. OSB doesn't work with laptops. I use that for my desktop. And now it's saying that it's perfect, so... Yeah, okay, I'm going to keep on going. And I'm going to keep on going and see if that's okay. Let's see. YouTube says it's good now. Mishra says it's good now. I don't know how you pronounce that. You know, I know that this little flower thing's supposed to kind of go over this way. So that's what I'm going to do. Beef that line up a little bit. And then clean this line up a little bit. I know you can't tell once you zoom out and look at everything else, but I know it's there. Let's see, and I think that's about it for that. Let's see now. Yeah, I got the little rosary, I got that. Should I put little spindles on her cheek? Yeah, might as well. Might as well while I'm doing it. Yeah, just a few. Just like a few to kind of give you the idea of what's going on. She's got that. She's got that. She's got some sort of little thing. Should I put it at the bottom of her chin or at the bottom of her? Well, her chin's actually here, and that's her neck fold. So maybe just cheat it a little bit. I was doing some. Yeah, that looks good. I was doing some modeling work, and I was watching a bunch of tutorials, and I wanted to do a model of an anthropomorphized character. And they were doing a model of a human, but it was a really good tutorial, so it was a really good tutorial, and I was following it step by step, but you know, the placement on a person's face, and if a fox's face in real life is different. Like, this is the lip kind of right here. It would be on a human, but she's got this whole thing that's a lip. So I had to really kind of figure out where everything would actually go if they were on a person, and then if they were on an animal. There's a funny thing, or not a funny thing, an idea that Chuck Jones had, or liked to use, and it's called putting socks and tennis shoes on an animal. I have it's one of my favorite kind of parts in his autobiography that I have. But he's basically saying if you can figure out where an ankle is on an animal and where their foot is and where their weight's distributed, then you can literally put socks on a sloth or a kangaroo, and it's basically a way of saying, hey, if you're going to take this character or this animal, how far exactly on the scale do you want to blend human and animal? Let's see now. Yeah, that's looking good. Looking good. Let me see. Don't you freeze on me. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just going to put some hairlines in here. Just to make it look like she's got a little bit of form. Now I'm paranoid again. I was like, oh, hey, everything's good now. Now I'm watching the windows and paranoid and everything. Yeah, here, let me see if I can pull that up a bit. Well, I'll show you guys later when what I'm working on, or when it's done. Oh, that's the funny thing. I was using a program called Lazy Nezumi, and it makes you be able to like do, not only in this program, but it's like a stabilizer for all sorts of other programs, and it's great. And you can use it for Flash, and it even works in 3D modeling programs like Sculptress or Blender. It's actually good if you want to ever do a straight line. I'm gonna get rid of that. Oh, I just read the latest IDW's Invader Zim issue. I thought it was real good. I think Casey Green, who, if I'm not mistaken, is the guy who created Chowder. I think he wrote it. And it was pretty funny. It was about Invader Zim trying to get a bank loan. And he was in this weird, human body, very reminiscent of Government Man, sent from the government. The government has sent me. And he had Gur was the bottom half, and of course Gur wanted to eat a bunch of food, so his ass kind of ran away from him in order to eat popcorn and tacos and stuff like that. Oh, C.H. Greenblatt created Chowder. Who am I thinking? Casey Green does those webcomics, like The Dog in the Fire. Oh, okay, so that's why it was so similar to that. Okay, so that's who it was. Okay, that his style seems a little bit more comparable now. I was thinking, man, why is the guy from Chowder, why is his artwork so how can I put this, webcomic-y? I mean, there's sort of a difference between Womp comic and oh man, what was that comic someone sent? They brought it up the other day. It's about a bunch of cats in times of the 1930s or 1920s and Prohibition, and it's super gorgeous looking, but it takes forever for a page to get done. Someone will bring it up. Let's see. Someone will remind me what it is. But anyway, I was wondering why. I was like, isn't the guy who made Chowder, wouldn't he be a draftman? I mean, it's funny looking, but it's a little bit, some of the characters are The models aren't. I'm a huge kind of stickler for on model or in style on model. I mean, you can change the style, but it has to kind of stay roughly on model. What am I doing here? Lackadaisy, yeah, that's it. Okay, well, there's a difference between that and Womp, which I forget what it. I guess that's how you pronounce it. WHOMP. Starring Ronnie. It's big over at 4chan. Okay, let's see now. Let me just put in a tail. She's got a big old tail there. Oh, here's something interesting if you're looking at the same thing I'm looking at. And yes, you are. This is the original model of Claudette. That's what she was originally supposed to look like, or not originally. I mean, they saw this and then they decided to change it to this. Which, I don't know. I mean, it matches the Looney Tunes. It matches the style they were going for, but I don't know. I just kind of like that other one, and it froze again. There's something in here that is throwing me off. Some sort of program. Even then, you can see she's got that big, goofy, long nose, but it's a little bit more subdued. And the hair kind of has volume and a kind of direction. I mean, it changes. It has the bangs and then the back of the hair. And it's textured and layered. That other one just seemed like it was, I don't know, it just seemed kind of flat and like a drawing. Well, it was a drawing, but the whole point of making it not look like a drawing. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, Vern? Ooh. Yes, 4chan is weird, but a lot of my art was popping up there, so I kind of snooped around a bit, and then I found my way to the draw threads, and oh, that's a nice looking tail. Now here's the thing: the tail shouldn't be in front or behind the hair. Maybe if I just... Do I have the hair on a separate layer right now? Yes, I do. No, I don't. Crap. Well, I'll have it go around like this way. I'll just cheat it a little bit. Let me get my sketch layer up. Oh, hey, that's my grandma. You know, the one that fell. Hold on a second. Hello.
Hi, Chad.
Hey, how you doing?
Pretty good. How are you, hon?
I'm doing good.
Good. Have you used your rice cooker?
No, I haven't used the rice cooker yet. I was gonna use it tonight, but Mom's at church.
Oh.
So
yeah,
she's not coming. I don't have an opportunity to do it. She just told me that, so I'm postponing that. I'm gonna make a big meal of that later. I bought some orange chicken and orange chicken sauce that I'm gonna use. Did you use yours?
Not yet. Not yet. I was going to do it tonight too, but then have you got the phone turned on?
On the speaker? Yeah, I do. Here, I'll turn it off. There you go. She can't hear when it's on speaker.
You know what I did? I took some salad I had in the fridge, and I cut up that chicken that we bought the other day.
Uh-huh.
That fried chicken.
Ooh.
And I used some of that salad dressing that comes with that slaw that I always save.
The poppy seed saw. The dressing.
Salad. And I made a very big salad and cut up chicken and put some fresh tomatoes and cucumbers on. Boy, was that good. That's all I had.
Oh, wonderful.
But it was enough. You know, I was going to do my rice
Yeah, that's.
You don't have to do dishes. Okay. What have you been doing, honey?
Oh, I'm just doing some drawing right now. I've been drawing mostly today, just catching up with stuff.
Is your house cold?
No, the house isn't that cold.
Well, Mike's going to come over Saturday, and we're going to go up and get, I don't know what he needs, but he's going to build a thing to go up like you guys got.
A what? Oh, something to go over your chimney to keep the heat from going out.
Right.
Okay.
So that cold air.
I thought you said he had some sort of like stuffing or.
Well, he did, but I misunderstood how it was.
Oh, he's got to get on the roof.
Like it was a something blanket.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I thought he just stuffed that down in there, but you cut it,
Okay.
and then put it on a piece of
Yeah,
paper.
he's got to form it first.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, how's Mama?
She's good. She's last time I talked to her, she was doing some clientele, and she's heading out. Like I said, she's heading to church. So I'm not gonna make a meal tonight for her.
Yeah.
One of her clients fell today at the shop, so she had to stick around a little longer than she'd like to.
What happened?
One of her clients fell.
Oh my gosh.
It's fine. She'll tell you all about it, but that's just something that happened today. Yeah, she's fine. She was fine too. I don't know if it was one of her older ones or not. She was very kind of
Let me tell you something, Chad.
uh-huh.
Today I made the round. I got up and I had to go several places, to the bank,
Yeah.
those things.
Oh, yeah.
And I went down to the office max and picked up some folders.
Mm-hmm.
Then I went over to Target and I got the nicest office planner, for my next year.
Oh, a new planner?
Yeah, a yearly planner.
Oh, good.
Anyway, then I thought, I'm out and about and it's cold and I'd like to get all this done, so I'm just going to go up to Banner Hospital and
Get your reports from the hospital. Okay.
and I of course, parked on the wrong end of the hospital.
Oh.
Go get in the car, drive way over the other end. But anyway, once I got in, it was, I don't know what kind of a printer they got, but boy, they had all the records printed out in minutes.
Oh, good.
Get home, Chad.
Huh?
And I said, I got it home and I got me a cup of hot chocolate and I thought, now I'll sit down and read it and see what it says.
Uh-huh.
Guess what it says?
What did it say?
Patient fell at home. She was transported in a private vehicle.
Oh, no, they got the wrong records.
No, they just got it all screwed up. They got part of my history and part of somebody else.
Oh, no.
Now I've got to go back and take it back up there.
That's insane. Why? Would they write that?
And they said, I fell in the parking lot at home.
At home? No.
Lot at home.
Do you own a Big Lots in your own parking lot?
Yeah. Oh, didn't even mention Big Lots.
Well,
Didn't even mention it.
but you told that to them. You were shopping.
Well, honey, they were, the ambulance come pick me up. Even their report didn't have where they didn't have Big Lots. They just had that I fell out in the parking lot.
Well, wouldn't.
I was almost in the door.
Huh.
So anyway, it don't look good for me.
Mm.
I mean, if I can't get them to change all this, it looks like I won't get any help from them.
Well, they should. I mean, I don't know. Just try and contact them and say, no, this isn't right. It doesn't reflect what happened. And I could. Well, that's insane.
It
Wait, no, wouldn't the ambulance have to file their own report saying where they found you?
Like the ambulance would, and they did. They put out in the parking lot. See, there's two different
You're fine, guys.
parts. There's the beginning of the physical history shows that I fell at home, came in and had transportation. You took the one that they
Here, guys. I'll put something else on.
there was an ambulance.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway, now I gotta go back up.
Huh. Okay.
But anyway, I highlighted everything where they made a mistake. And the girl's real nice. She'll get it straightened out. They just gonna, I gotta make another trip and then go back up to get it again unless they'll mail it. But it's, maybe they could just keep that one page and then drop that one page in the mail to me.
Well, that's weird that they would even do that.
Yeah, it's just like that girl, that young girl, she wheeled her computer in there and she would ask me questions.
Well, do you think she was distracted by, I don't know, maybe mom being there?
No, she wasn't listening. She said, and your primary doctor, and I said his name's Larry Griffiths. Oh, well, we don't have them in the system. Well, I know them very well, they do.
Yeah.
You know what? She didn't even put it in because she probably didn't know Scully's last name. That's why we ended up going to that other doctor because it said patient doesn't have a primary doctor.
Oh, that stinks.
Well, the whole thing stinks. It really sort of made me upset over Banner. You know?
Well, thanks, Obama.
Yeah. Have you heard from Chat, Blake?
No, I haven't heard from Blake, but mom saw that he got her text, so he's probably on land at this point or someplace with Wi-Fi.
Good. How does she know?
Because it just said, it read on her message that,
Okay. Recipient got the message.
yeah, and she's got an iPhone and it does this little thing where it says, so and so is reading your message.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. See, all mine does is say sent,
Mm-hmm.
but,
Yeah, mine too. We both have Androids.
yeah, it just says sent. It doesn't say that they read it.
Right.
All right, honey. Well, I'm gonna watch TV tonight and go to bed again.
Okay. I'll be out soon again. Kind of hang out with you.
That's okay, darling. Don't worry. I'm doing fine. I cleaned up the bedroom really good, and the worst afternoon cleaned it up because I figured we're having a thing Monday.
What thing?
Joe, at church.
Oh.
I think Joe will want to come Sunday night and stay all night so she can go to that.
Oh, okay. Oh, good. Joe's coming over.
Yeah, it's the only way she gets to go. You know, is if I have her come over here because she can't drive at night, so she won't come back she won't come to church, go all the way out to Black Canyon, come all the way back to the very next
Yeah,
morning, and come all the way back. Too much for her.
Yeah, I know.
If I have her come spend the night,
Yes. I know.
we'll see how I feel.
Yeah.
All right, sweetie.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I'll.
I guess you got everything down and packed away, huh?
Yeah, everything's packed up.
Yeah, me too. Looks nice. Looks really, well, it looks nice to have it all packed away.
Mm-hmm.
Your mama was told. I think she got it all packed away. She said you like fireplace a lot.
Oh yeah. She put Uncle Mike put a seal on top of the fireplace, so it breaks the whole formation of the wall right there, so it looks good.
Yeah, yeah. Now she wants him to do the pillows.
Yeah, which I'm a little. That's gonna be a little bit of a work.
Yeah, it is. That's what I told her. Everywhere the sheetrock meets, on the ends, the sides,
Uh huh.
what do them, and I think they do.
Well, I don't know about that. When he put the thing over the wall, it's got this little lip at the top. You can't see it unless you're looking for it, but if someone were to start looking for it, then they'd find it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. And they know it's been along there.
Yeah. But anyway, it'll turn out okay.
All right, sweetie.
Okay.
Has he said any more about you coming out?
Who?
Mike.
No.
Well,
He came over the other day, and I helped him lift some of the stones we had.
coming out when he goes to...
Oh, no. I don't know if I'm going to watch the house for him or not. It's going to be kind of an up in the air kind of thing.
I don't know. I don't even know if they're going. I mean, I know she's going, but I don't think he's going.
Yeah.
Because he's got a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
All right, honey. I'll talk to you later.
No, okay, Grandma. I love you.
Love you too.
Bye-bye. Oh, okay. Could you guys hear that? I thought she was complaining. She had to go and get a report from the hospital in order to get some insurance processed, and they had everything all wrong on her report. Oh, and she's fine, by the way. She's great. She was doing some stuff. She's got a person coming over. She's going to spend the night with her to go to some sort of church event. She's got her own church on that side of town. It's great. But the hospital had all sorts of wrong information. They said she fell at home, which she didn't. She was out shopping. They said she was brought in a private vehicle. She was not. She was brought in an ambulance because the ambulance picked her up. So this is the kind of stuff that if you were to turn it into an insurance claim, it would be like, hey, well, there's your story and then there's their story. So what's going on? So she's a little angry about that. She's got to contact the hospital and figure out what was going on. She thinks the nurse was just filling out whatever. She feels the nurse was just ignoring her because my grandmother used to work. She used to do books for every doctor in downtown Phoenix. Just about everyone. So she gave the name of a doctor that she goes to and that she goes to regularly. And they said, oh, well, no, we can't give you that doctor. He's not in our books. And she knew damn well that he, repeating her verbatim, damn well that he was in there because he was still working. And I was telling her that the ambulance should have their own report about what happened and where they found her and everything. So that should be something to look into. Even if the nurse was kind of dumb enough to say, no, she was found in a driveway. That's insane. And I got to figure out what I'm going to do here. I kind of want her peeking out and maybe lower her a little bit so that way the hand will show up. And I kind of, maybe I should do her a little, no, I kind of like that because I don't really have a lot of room to maneuver with in here. Or, I could do this. I could put like a sign. And I could put like big ain't it And have her hold the sign. Like a kind of clown thing. And have her leg kind of poke out, or one of her big meaty thighs stick out from behind the tail. And I've got that on blend. Oh, am I drawing on this? No, I'm not drawing on the same layer. Good. I just chose the wrong color. So yeah, that's another upset. And then my uncle wants me to house sit for him. I don't know if he has any good Wi-Fi. So yeah, just I don't know if he's got good Wi-Fi on his side of town. I don't know if he's got a good setup. So I'm not going to stay on his... Well, actually, he lives out in Surprise, which if you don't know is not anywhere close to Central Phoenix. It's kind of a retirement town. She does have big meaty thighs. That's the only part of her that's kind of sensual. Yeah, I definitely want to kind of make it look Looney Tunes-y, so I'll move that over here. And then I'll have her own tail go like this. Yeah. Basically just always something with my family. But I love them. I love my grandma. I got to go back out and visit her. I got to visit her more this year. And I got to kind of, let's see. That's the basis. I'm going to lower it again and then go over it again. The kind of other color, same color. Lower the line a bit. Figure out where I want everything to land. And I want to give her, yeah, I just don't like that bowl cut. In fact, you know what? I'm going to take a little lesson from that earlier model. And I'm going to kind of divide the head a little bit. And give her, I hope the guy doesn't mind. If he does, this will be an easy fix. But if it doesn't, then it'll look better than it does in the cartoon. But yeah, my uncle lives out in Surprise, and it's kind of it's okay. He lives pretty close to a shopping center. I wouldn't get bored, and they just really, I think they more or less want me to watch a dog, and he is an adorable little dog, and he gets nervous, so I think they want me to stick around, watch the house so no one messes with it, and watch the dog so it doesn't get nervous. Oh. And I also got to work on that nose. It's a bit of a... She's got a weird... She's got, like, say, it's thin, and then it gets huge, like this. There we go. That's better. It's got kind of a... It's almost like there's where most of the weight is, and then it kind of has this other little stem. Like, kind of like a banana with a stem that's way too big for itself. Yeah, I guess that's a good idea. Banana, and then the stem, and then a little bit of an olive at the end. I'm sorry, guys. I had to take that. I was gonna put on another cartoon, but I shut it down because I think it was messing with the broadcasting. I don't know. I may not be able to do a lot. I'm still on my laptop, and the only reason why I'm able to do this is because I found the new program. And by the way, I didn't understand. I didn't look at the chat afterwards. Could you hear all that? What she was saying, or not? Was that all just me on my end? Because this microphone, I guess, can pick up some certain stuff. Could I show familiar faces Lindsay Nagel? I'll try to get that on the main channel, but that's a Simpsons one, and sometimes they get flagged for content, and it's not good. If that happens, especially during one of these things, because it's kind of hard to go back afterwards and redo it. I mean, edit it. It's a big ugly nose. Quiet, but Grandma was clear. Okay, so you could hear her. Oh well. She's sweet, and I originally was going to let you listen in on a little bit. I don't think she was going to say anything. I wasn't expecting Grandma to say anything lewd, or, no, not lewd, but anything too intimate. She usually just asks me how I'm doing. How's everything going? She made a kind of chicken salad tonight. She was asking me how the rice cooker she bought me for Christmas was working. And I was originally going to have my mom over, and I was going to cook orange chicken. But then she had her thing, and huh. Yeah, that'll work fine. And of course, traditional mime tune gloves. You know, cartoons wear white gloves because mimes used to wear white gloves because it helps distinguish their hands on stage. Well, mine, yeah. Does anyone in your family watch your stuff? Yeah, I guess. Sometimes people ask me. My mom likes some episodes that I've done. I think she liked the pirate one that I made. I think that was one of her favorites. But no, they're not really that into sci-fi and all that. Not sci-fi, but pop culture and all that stuff. I think my mom's favorite movie is... let's see, what does she like? She likes Camelot. That's her favorite movie of all time. She likes Camelot. It's her favorite movie/musical. In fact, I remember I bought her the CD to the original Broadway cast singing it, and she was a little bit disappointed with that Mother's Day gift. She said, "Oh, I thought it was the movie," and I was like, "No, this is Broadway. It's better." You know, who says that? And I say, well, I don't know, a bunch of reviewers online. Well, I like the movie music. Even though I kind of hear that the what is it? What's his face? I hear he's not a real good singer in that. The guy who plays Arthur. He kind of sings, talks. And the Broadway production of it is supposed to be really great. And that's the version I bought her, but she likes the movie, and I got her that on DVD when she had to replace everything. That, and for some reason, and I don't know if anyone's ever heard of it, but she likes the Jane Austen Society. It's a movie about a book club, and I guess they just do things. They read Jane Austen and handle their own life problems, I guess. I don't know. My grandmother used to tell me about my uncle Craig, who was actually a principal here in Phoenix. She and him would have to go out and watch the cows because she grew up on a farm. And she said he was a huge kind of Superman fan. He would get his comic books, and they would just go out in the field, do their chores, and mind their P's and Q's. And she would try to talk to him, and then he'd say, "Just wait." And she would always say, he would always say he'd have to finish reading a page first in order to stop. He was that into it. And when let's see, have you ever played Skullgirls? No. Do I have any thoughts of Indivisible? No. He would, he also, when he was older and even the principal of his own school, he would watch the Flintstones. And he would talk to his students about it the day afterwards, because the Flintstones was kind of the Family Guy of its time. Or not Family Guy, The Simpsons. Why did I go to Family Guy? Family Guy isn't even that good anymore. But yeah, it was the Simpsons of his time, and he was still into cartoons, and he would talk to his students about it. In fact, my mom has a bunch of interesting stories about times that my grandmother has interesting stories about times that my mother was sent to the principal's office, and the principal was the uncle. But you didn't hear that from me. I love my grandma. She once came up to me and asked, "Chad, is this Spider-Man? Is he a new superhero?" And I just kind of looked at her and I was like, because Spider-Man came out in the 1960s. Relatively, like what, 30, 20 years later than Superman, which is the only superhero I know she knows of. I kind of look at her and I say, "Well, relatively, yeah." And then she was like, oh, because I see all this Spider-Man stuff, and it's also exciting. And it's like, yeah, it's pretty exciting. It was the time when the Raimi movies were coming out. So she was like, "Oh, Spider-Man, who's that?" My grandmother also once rented the R-rated version of Spawn for my little brother. So that was a thing. And I think these pants will be black. All black. I don't know if Grandma knows Batman or not. She should. She knows that I like Ninja Turtles and Ghostbusters. And she once combined the two when asking me recently. She says, "Hey, is Ghost Turtles still a thing? You used to play Ghost Turtles all the time." The Shrek movies, I think, is sort of something me and Grandma have in common, because her then boyfriend, Jim, who later became my step-grandfather, who I loved like my biological grandfather. He was like, I want to take you and kids out to a movie. And she was like, okay, well, what's out? And we were like, I don't know, Shrek? The original Shrek, the first one. She was like, okay, we'll go to Shrek. And we went and saw Shrek, and it was fine. It was good. I think it was a good, pleasant movie to see with them. Then we went to Shrek 2 as a family, because we were like, okay, time to go to another movie together. What should we see? And she was like, okay, how about Shrek 2? And we were all kind of looked at each other and we're like, yeah, okay, Shrek was fine the first time. I'm gonna use this in some sort of text program. Seiya doesn't have text. That's another kind of drawback. Again, greatest stabilizer ever. Amazing pen, but no text feature. They're working on Seiya 2, or rather they have been working on Seiya 2 for the past 5 years, but anyway, we were all like, well, I don't know if she's read any of Superman All-Star. No, grandmother has not read All-Star Superman. But we were like, okay, yeah, sure, Shrek 2, that'll be fine. And it really actually was pretty funny. And then later on, when it was movie night, we all watched Shrek 3, and that was kind of a disappointment. And Grandpa wasn't around for Shrek 4. So that was, we kind of stopped going to movies then. But Grandma, I guess Shrek is something that Grandma likes. She took us to Star Wars. Okay, here's another story. She did take us to episode 2 of Star Wars. And she was like, I'm going to take you kids to the movie. And I was like, okay, well, what do you want to watch? She says, I don't know. And my brother wanted to go see Star Wars episode 2. And it was, this is a good story because it was the opening weekend. And basically, we got to skip ahead of a bunch of people to get tickets because my grandmother just walked up to the ticket counter and she says, oh, I'd like 3 tickets for the Star Wars. One adult and 2 kids. I think I was a little bit too old for the kids thing, and I said so. And the guy kind of looks at Grandma and looks at the line and looks back at Grandma, and she says, okay, 3 tickets for Star Wars. And we got in. And again, she couldn't care less about Star Wars. I had kind of like I said, never really been into Star Wars, and my brother was just a little kid, so he got excited. I don't know. I didn't look back. I did not look back at the line. I did not want to. Well, they were all a bunch of nerds. They wouldn't have done anything, but I just did not want to look back at the huge line we had supposedly skipped. And this was before you can buy your tickets online, and they said, oh, well, all the online sales are all sold out. You had to actually go and wait at the theater for this sort of thing. So yeah, that's how Grandma got us into Star Wars Episode 2, which was crowded and packed, and the crowd was way too loud and hyped up for it. It was kind of where Star Wars was still... People love Star Wars, even if it's not that good and even just kind of decent. I'm a little surprised that Star Wars is now, the highest grossing movie? That honestly surprised me a little because I remember Lucas saying we're never going to beat Titanic. We're never going to beat Titanic, and Avatar beat Titanic, and then now Star Wars beat Avatar. Oh, here's a story. Speaking of Pokemon, someone brought up the Pokemon movie. Back in when I was in, I think it was sixth grade, they were releasing the Pokemon movie, and they had this little Channel 6 in Phoenix. They were giving away tickets to it. And you had to call in every afternoon, and there was a trivia question. And you would go in, and they would give you there was a question on TV, you dial the phone number and try to answer it. I remember I tried every day, and then on Thursday, it was only for 1 week. On Thursday, I finally got into it. I finally got picked up. And the woman on the phone says, okay, the question is, who was Pikachu's original trainer? And I kind of froze because I was like, what? And who's Pikachu's original trainer? I was like, I said, okay, Ash Ketchum. And she was like, no, I'm sorry, that's wrong. I was like, well, then who was it? And she froze for a little bit. And she's like, we were both quiet on the phone for a little bit. And she says, I don't know why I'm doing the eyes over here. She says, wait a second. Let me find something out. So she gets on the phone. No, she gets off the phone. She's talking to someone else. And meanwhile, I'm sitting there. I'm like, wait a minute. Pikachu's original owner? I was like, did she just spoil something about the movie to me? I was like, and then she later comes back on. She says, okay, you can pick up your tickets at this location. And I asked her, what was the question? What was the answer? I got it right. And she just said, you can pick up your tickets at this location. I think she just wanted to get rid of me. But meanwhile, I was just happy to get the tickets. But later on, it was like, I was thinking, wait a minute. Is there something about Pikachu that we're going to find out? Did Pikachu have a trainer before Ash? And so I was making a better movie in my head than it actually was, or turned out it was going to be. But for about a month leading up to that premiere, I was like, oh man, who's Pikachu's original owner? It's like, is Pikachu a clone? Is Pikachu secretly Mew? I don't know. I was thinking, like, that would explain why he's so powerful. There must have been some reason why Pikachu was so powerful. But of course, it was explained in the series. It was because Ash hooked him up to a water wheel and electrocuted the shit out of him. I guess the real question, did I get my rare Mew card? You're thinking of the second movie. And yes, I did. But yeah, I saw... what was I going to say? Something about Pikachu. I don't know. I lost my train of thought. But yeah, I was for a while there. I was like, why did she not give me the answer to the question? What's going on? Is there something in the movie that I should know about? And they gave me 4 tickets. I only used 2 because I took me and my little brother. And I still have the 2 somewhere. It's got as just collector's items. They're somewhere. I lost my trainer of thought. Again, I was a little disappointed with that movie. I thought it was kind of... the highlight of the movie, I think, was the opening battle. To be perfectly honest, because I was so hyped for that. And then I also remember the trainers getting on their Pokemon and riding up to the island. Her head is way bigger than in her body. I remember I was excited for that. I'm gonna hide all this. I don't need to hide all of it. I can keep her layer on there. Did I ever reach Scott? Oh yeah, I what is it like? It's Scott's. Is he the guy that does VG Cats? If so, then yes, I do read that from time to time. That reminds me, I gotta draw that. I gotta draw Eris, the pink cat. Sometimes. That's the funny thing about needing to do a drawing a day is that I would wake up, I would see a character, I was like, oh, I'm gonna draw her now, and I'm like, oh wait, I don't need to do that anymore. I can just work on things that need to get done. But that still doesn't matter because I totally did that today with the skull drawings. It's weird. She's got this tuft here, and I don't know where her... Oh, that'll be fine. It'll look okay. Again, I gotta be like... I just gotta be able to get it down. Don't worry about the logistics too much. It'll look fine. Her head still needs to be a little bit bigger on this side. And it's okay if it goes above this skull here, because that'll be fine. And maybe I'll drop the hand back a little bit and make the... Oh, just wait. I'll drop the hand back a little bit and make the sign just a little bit bigger. Ever play Breath of Fire? Nope. That was an easy question. What do you think of the Netflix Puss in Boots or King Julian? Haven't. I think I've watched King Julian one episode. Haven't watched the Puss in Boots thing. But I do think it's pretty smart DreamWorks is trying to get in on Netflix. It's like they were trying to go for Nick. What they sold. I thought it was pretty cool the way they were doing it. It's kind of like what Hanna-Barbera used to do, shipping out all their shows to different networks. They put Dragons on Cartoon Network, and they put Monsters vs. Aliens on Nickelodeon. In fact, it was a little bit of a twist when Dragons went on Cartoon Network, because most of their stuff does end up on Cartoon Network. I mean, Nickelodeon. Okay, I'm gonna start inking right now. Maybe I'll widen these eyes a little bit first. I want to make this one eye a little bit wider. Maybe I'm missing something. Yeah, that's what I need. I need some eyebrows. She's got like a weird smirk. I don't know. Yeah, that's fine. That'll be fine. It's kind of like she's making fun of her. And of course, her makeup. I've been playing the games. Electric type are ineffective against raw. Okay, yeah. Why does everyone hate the Kung Fu Panda TV series? I really didn't hate it. I thought it was fine. I thought it was decent enough. I've only seen a handful of episodes, though. I've seen the one where Poe is like engaged to get married to some sort of sheep or something. or maybe she had to. Maybe he had to escort the sheep. I don't know. I remember the classic premise where Poe and Tigress get chained together, and they gotta work together in order to get out of, I don't know, something. I saw the episode where one of Old's Shifu's not students comes by, not student, his master comes by, and he was trapped in a box, or he stayed in a box so long that he kind of became loopy. He was voiced by oh gosh, who is it? He played Freakazoid. Just wait, I'm opening up another program. He played Freakazoid and Mr. Director. It's on the tip of my tongue. Mr. Peabody and Sherman, that show I just can't get behind. I don't know. It's just something about the animation and the art style. I don't know. Just can't get into it. I seen a couple episodes. Let's see. I gotta hook this to the. Oh yeah, Paul Rugg. That's definitely it. Which, by the way, I really have been enjoying the 7D recently. I've been catching up on that show. I hope it's still around. I don't hear anybody talking about it. Let's see. What? Okay, there we go. And he plays Duke Starchbottom or something like that. Here we go. Just need to turn that off. If you could remake what cartoon show, what would it be? I don't know. I was thinking about remaking Star Wars Episode 1, 2, and 3 yesterday. What would be a good one? Pardon me while I stretch my legs a bit. I don't know. I would think I want to try to remake a crappy one and see if I could turn it good. Bots Masters. I would try to remake Bots Masters. And I think Clarence is, like, I agree with Pyramid. I think Clarence is fine. There's some episodes I really do enjoy and I think are actually good, and some episodes I think are just weird. And I don't know. I can't gauge the universe, actually. Does that make any sense? Like, I remember there's one episode where all the teachers have to go down into the boiler room because it really is some kind of huge furnace that they all need to man. Or was that just a fantasy? It seemed like it could be a fantasy. It's just, I don't know whether it's trying to actually be realistic or goofy. It's like kind of like Doug. You know, where Doug was mainly in, it's kind of like they combined season 1 of Doug and season 2 of Doug, where Doug, you know, like season 1 of Doug had its goofy moments, and Mr. Dinkelberg. No, that's not right. Dinkelberg is Fairly Odd Parents. You know, the purple neighbor, they had moments where he had goofy inventions, but other than that, it was kind of staged in real life. And then the second series had, like, vampires and, you know, lake monsters and stuff like that. So it's kind of like, well, is it trying to be, oh, I'll put a little neckerchief around her. That'd be cute. It's just like the clash between the two styles. I don't know if it's trying to be I don't know if it's trying to be surreal or real or what. Mr. Dink, that's it. Very expensive. I think someone said the animation for Clarence is imaginative. I think the animation for Uncle Grandpa is way more imaginative than that. And fits more within the universe that they were trying to make. What's going on? Oh, I gotta get the color. Come on, what's going down? There. There we go. Actually, no, I'll just leave that side blank. What's better, Nick's Doug or Disney's Doug? I like the original Nick Doug more. Ever seen Moral Oral? Yeah, I've seen a couple episodes. I understand where it was coming from. I understand where the jokes were coming from. Not my cup of tea. It's there are shows that you can actually point to and say, okay, well, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad. This is too slow. Like for Clarence, I can't quite get where they're coming from with the realism and the surrealism. Moral Oral, more or less, it's just like, it's all fine and dandy, but it's just not my cup of tea. And you kind of have to leave it where it lays for someone else who likes that kind of stuff to pick it up and enjoy it. That's kind of what I'm doing with Star Wars, because everyone's saying, hey, how do you like Star Wars? Shouldn't you do something about Star Wars? And it's like, yeah, but I'm not really that into it, and everyone's talking about it right now. And unless you think you can actually come up with some sort of interesting commentary on it, and if someone doesn't come up and ask me what I think about it, I let it lay. And let someone else pick it up who's got more interesting things to say about it. What did I think about the Lego movie? I thought it was really good. I thought I was surprised. I was stunned, actually. And it gave me... Well, actually, I wasn't that stunned because it was done by the same people that did Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Talk about... That's actually is one of my favorite movies to come out recently. Kids movies that... Because I was like, holy crap, they actually did something with this weird premise. This little book. I remember reading that as a kid and being like, okay, that's fun. And I remember seeing the movie and I was like, oh man, it's gonna be way too bloated. It's not gonna be focused on anything. And it was surprisingly good. They had a bunch of jokes. It was focused and it was interesting the way they portrayed the characters. I think the second movie was weaker, but I think it was great. I'm not a barista, I'm a polista. And I like the way Brad kind of had his own little redemption arc, where he kind of realized he can't rest on his laurels as baby Brad, and so he becomes Chicken Brad, and that becomes his persona in the next movie. Oh. No, I gotta correct you right there, Transformer Marvel. They didn't cancel the new Popeye movie. They just kind of took it away from Tartakovsky, or he quit, or whatever. I don't know. I think it's funny that Tartakovsky and Lauren got the boot off their projects. Maybe they didn't get the boot off their projects. Maybe they were just like, hey, let me let me do this the way I want to do it. And then the studio was like, no. They were like, well, fine, we don't need this. I think Tartakovsky was doing a lot of favors in order to get Samurai Jack the movie on. He always there's a there's a special feature on one of the DVDs that say, oh, man, I would really love to see, in his own words, he said, I really like to see Samurai Jack on the big screen. And I think that might have been his idea. I think he was doing some favors, like salvaging, I think he salvaged Transylvania, Hotel Transylvania, which was an okay film overall. I mean, it sort of earned its sequel, but it was a little wonky in some certain areas. The original, I hear that they were just going to fully rip off Twilight, and the human was supposed to be a vampire at the end. I think the sequel is a little weaker, but what was I going to say? I think he was doing some favors in order to get, like, in the door and say, hey, maybe now that I've done Hotel Transylvania and Popeye, you guys will let me do my Samurai Jack movie? Maybe? And then I think that would probably have been a great way to end that story. I think a movie would have been fantastic for that kind of thing. Sorry, I've been drawing most of the day and my shoulder's killing me. I usually ride if I can't get out for the day and run around, I usually ride a stationary bike for about an hour. And that works the muscles. I think that'll be fine. But yeah, I think it's a shame that they, and people were like, "Oh man, aren't you happy that a lot of bronies were like, oh, I bet you're happy that Faust lost that job." And I was like, wait, why would I do that? It's like, I have no animosity towards Faust. I have animosity towards the fandom because she kind of lost her opportunity to tell her story. And then bronies were like, well, she should, it's like, well, she should, learn to, compromise and play with others and stuff. And it's like, yeah, but your whole series is kind of like how, women can be accomplished and they can do their own things. And she says, yeah, but, Twilight's got wings now, and that's pretty cool. And it's like, well, don't you think that's a bit hypocritical? And he's like, but she has wings. And a tiara. Have you not seen the tiara? I don't think you've seen the tiara. He hasn't seen the tiara? No, he hasn't seen the tiara. It's a pretty sweet tiara, bro. It's like, no, I was upset when I heard when she lost that, but I think and I was a little wary about Medusa because it was done by the same writers who made Ever After, that one movie where the princess goes to the real world, and I thought that was fine, but I wasn't blown away by it. So I was kind of looking at that and thinking, oh well, I don't know about this writer. It's like, Yeah, let's see. What else was I going to say? I was talking about. I think it sucks that Tartakovsky lost. Or is not working with Sony that much. But I think it's okay if he brings back the show to finish it. I think that maybe was his whole kind of in plan for the whole time. And that's good that it's on Adult Swim because I don't know, maybe he can get a little bit more intense with it. I know it was on Adult Swim. It got featured on Adult Swim back when they were doing like Cartoon Network Live, and they kind of wanted to distance themselves. There really isn't anything too graphic with Samurai Jack. And they got rid of most of the edge by saying, oh, well, all the guys he's cutting up, they're all cyborgs and mutants and aliens. Which, by the way, that episode where the family, I don't want to spoil it if you haven't seen any Samurai Jack episodes, but there's an episode about a family and it's super messed up. Even though it's like totally PG, it's kind of really screwed up. And then there's the haunted house one, which I don't know what you call what Japanese for house is. Well, I don't know what you call that building, but that was an intense one. Yeah, I know they briefly showed blood, but it's kind of fine. And I know that they showed a bunch of the what was it? Symbiotic Titan on Adult Swim. Man, I wish that one had kept going. But I think it ended in a good place. If it had to, it did. And it did. It ended with them winning. Kimmy and Octus kind of implying that they're getting back together. I thought that was a good kind of place to stop. Not end, but kind of stop and say, okay, if it's got to end, it might as well end here. But I remember Tartakovsky coming out and saying, yeah, they wanted that show to be more like Ben 10. And he was like, no, wait, why does it have to be more like Ben 10? What are you talking about? Those are two different shows. It's like, did they want to sell toys? Well, make toys of all the monsters and action figures and stuff. Why didn't you make toys of Samurai Jack? That would have been cool. Yeah, I remember Robotomy. It was fine. I thought it was okay. And I'm sort of also looking forward to the Hey Arnold Jungle movie. I just read that. I'm looking forward to the Hey Arnold reboot or revival. I'm looking to see what's going on with that. A lot of stuff. I think it's sort of good that they're bringing it back. But I'm wary at the same time. Again, we had this huge long discussion last night about MST3K and what'll that be like and what'll happen to Rift Tracks. You can just watch the last video. Yeah, and Ben 10's getting a revival like it freaking needs it. It's like, we're gonna I remember verbatim some executives like, we're gonna show Ben 10 to an all new generation. It's like, it hasn't been 5 years. That's like releasing Scooby-Doo and then, or no, having these Scooby-Doo movies and then running the next series with Scrappy-Doo and saying, hey, we're going to show Scooby-Doo to a whole new generation. It's like they're still the same generation, asshole. Although I did see, and that reminds me, I did see Scooby-Doo and Kiss. That was a trip. I saw that on Cartoon Network while I was over at my grandmother's because there was nothing else to do. That was in just... I don't even know how to describe it. I thought it was good. I thought they handled the two fandoms well. It was kind of like a remake of the Kiss movie that they made in the 60s or 70s. They weren't around in the 60s, so it was the 70s, where Kiss went to a theme park, and then there was some sort of phantom of the theme park who used robots. And it was weird. They had stuff about... It was based on that because they had all their personas from... Like, they had a bunch of superpowers, like about an eye, and the demon could actually breathe fire. I thought it was really cool, that way they mixed kind of the Kiss mythology? Is that what it is? Because I don't know, I haven't watched a lot of Kiss movies. I think there was only the one. Maybe there was a bunch of Kiss comics that I missed out on. But like Star Child has like, the eyesight, and the cat guy is a cat, and it's amazing. I only know Star Child and Gene Simmons. But Gene Simmons is the demon. Star Child, I don't know his real name. The other guy had thunder powers. Anyway, they just kind of really expanded on that in an interesting way. They made this whole mythology about how this rock witch wanted the Detroit rock, the Detroit diamond that they were presented, and that it wasn't really just it wasn't something that Chicago gave to them. It was actually like an intergalactic ruby that released this huge giant monster. And then there was another twist at the end about how it had its cake and it ate it too. It was just weird. But I liked it. I think it was good. I didn't like this recent run of Scooby-Doo has been pretty good. Like what was it? They had Phantom of the Auditorium, that comic book one where they met. They had one where they met Blue Falcon. They they met Blue Falcon and Dynamut. Blue Falcon, Dynamut. They met. I don't think they met anyone else. They went camping. They did a vampire one, Vampire of the Swamp, and I was getting a little sick of that incarnation, and I was about to tune out, but then it came on Cartoon Network, and I was like, okay, well, this will be in the background. But then I got really into it when I heard, Jim Cummings' singing voice. He sings an opening song in a kind of bayou ballad, and it was actually really beautiful. And so I kind of stopped what I was doing, turned around and watched the opening of it. And then it kind of lost me when I found out it was a full-fledged musical. And I kind of backed out of it. But Jim Cummings, man, that guy can sing. Oh man, I've been drawing on a different layer. Well, let's see if I can work this. You know, there's no real reason why I shouldn't be. Well, I'll just do that and work on this layer. And I think they did that because it was right after The Princess and the Frog. So they were like, oh, well, Ray was pretty good in that. And we've got Jim Cummings. Let's have him sing a song. Let's see. Oh, damn it. Come on, focus, Chad. You can get this done in one night if you play your cards right. Where is it? Oh, she's using the wrong. Screw it. Layer troubles. Also, those Tom and Jerry movies are pretty good. Yeah, interesting, I'll say. They've been. I don't think I like the Robin Hood one. I like the. See, what was the most recent one? Something about wizards and dragons and stuff. I think it's interesting the way they've been the pets of all these different characters. It's kind of the formula they had for the Tom and Jerry movie, where it's like, oh, well, we can do this weird adventure story by having Tom and Jerry, you know, be the pet of this little kid. And her dad is Indiana Jones for some reason. And they've been doing that, except they've been kind of doing what Animaniacs did, and they'd have them show up in different time periods without any explanation other than they're just a cat and a cat and a mouse. You know, they've been the pets of Sherlock Holmes. They've been the pets of Dorothy from Wizard of Oz. It's interesting. I think the Wizard of Oz one's my favorite, even though it is pretty much just a beat-for-beat remake of Wizard of Oz, except it occasionally turns the camera off to the side and says, oh, and by the way, Tom and Jerry also here. Oh, and Droopy and whatever that other dog's name was. I have not seen Franken Creepy. I heard there was some big stink because Daphne was wearing a fat suit or got fat, and there was something on that. I don't know. I just didn't bother watching it. It was just I missed it when it was on, and I'm not going to track it down. That's good. And I have seen pictures of Velma in that outfit. I don't care. Before all this, I always liked Velma. I thought she was cuter. When Mystery Incorporated came out, even though there was a bit of a flip, when Mystery Incorporated came out, I was sort of warming up to Daphne, and Velma just, I don't know what happened to her. She just became this kind of snarky and super horny, too. Yeah, that's fine. That eyeball. That's the second eye. There we go. Let's look and see. Scooby-Doo and the Reluctant Werewolf. Google it, ever see. Google Googie, ever see again. Oh yeah, Googie from the Reluctant Werewolf. I own those. I own the Reluctant Werewolf. I have the original VHS. I own the Boo Brothers, and I own Ghoul School. All those weird kind of real monster Scooby-Doo movies. Let's see. I know I'm missing one. There's a Reluctant Werewolf I have. There's the Boo Brothers. There's Ghoul School. I think there's one other one in there. Huh. Well, that's all because of oh God, he's gonna kill me. But that's a really good artist that did all the Phantasma art. Do I like pineapple? Yes, I do. I find it delicious. Although if I eat too much of it, it'll burn my tongue for the day. Yeah, let's see. I know there's a bunch. There was something called The Big 12, and that was a series of movies Hanna-Barbera released to the home video market and as TV movies. There was one about Yogi Bear and the Great Bear Chase or something. He finds these three little orphans, and he has to take them, I don't know, across the country in a weird... It was a total ripoff of kind of what Smokey and the Bandit, where Yogi Bear and Boo Boo had to take these three little babies across the country, and they ran into all sorts of classic Hanna-Barbera characters, and also some kids who for some reason really wanted to stick it to the man. Like they would help them get away from the authorities. There was Huckleberry Finn, something where he was the sheriff of a small town. That was a good one. I remember that one because there was something about a ghost train, and it really freaked me out as a kid. There was a good song to that. I'll have to look that up and see if I could find it anywhere, but I love that song. Yeah, but Huckleberry Finn was a sheriff of a small town. There was one about, I guess, the Spruce Moose or the Spruce Goose or something. It's like Yogi Bear went back in time or something. I don't know. That one was a weird one. I think that was a project done by the National Smithsonian or something. I think they approached Hanna-Barbera to do something. I may be talking out of my ass about that, but I definitely remember they used some footage and something had to deal with that. Oh, they made a Top Cat movie. I know that. With something about a car wash. I don't know. It was weird. But Hanna-Barbera released all these home videos to home video and on television. Speaking of which, I gotta see that new Mexican Top Cat just out of morbid curiosity. I hear it's terrible. It's mainly flash animation. I don't know why Warner Brothers would do that, unless they figured they just... Her pupils are a little bit too big, but I kind of like them. Yeah, I kind of like them that way. Let me look at the other. And did it freeze again? No. It's this one. It's definitely this one of the red dress one that it always freezes on. But yeah, I gotta see that one just out of curiosity. Figure out what the hell happened there. Yeah, her pupils are big here, and I kind of like that. I'm gonna use that. That's the thing about working with different models. You can kind of pick and choose which ones you like. Or different references. Top Cat is big in Brazil and Mexico, I believe. Someone just said that. Thanks, Mike. That would... You know, sometimes some characters get big in other places. I'm trying to think about recently, what was it that, like Japan, something is huge in America, but it's not so big in Japan. I forget what it was. And that happens with a lot of British writers, like you know, like the Lord of the Rings wasn't as huge a seller in England as it was in America. And same thing with the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. I hear that sold better in America than it did in England. I think the same thing happened with Alice in Wonderland. I don't know. Maybe the colonies appreciated the fantasy and the absurd more than the British readership at the time. But yeah, that wouldn't surprise me if they like Top Cat. I'm not digging that finger or that thumb. In fact, let's see. It's a little wonky, but let's see if we can work with it. Yeah, that'll do fine. Yeah, a little better. Disney made an Underdog movie. I don't know if they own Underdog. I don't know if they own all those old... oh, I forget the name of the producer, but they did like George of the Jungle and... George of the Jungle. Oh, and Dudley Do-Right. Yeah, that was something. I remember that being the first movie that actually mentioned Pokemon by name. There was something where Jeremy Irons was in it, and he had to train Dudley, and he was all like, "Well, he's not much of a fighter, but he does have an extensive Pokemon collection." Which I was wondering what they meant by that. Did they mean the video game or did they mean the card game? Because the card game was super huge at the time. I mean, it was more so than the video game because it was kind of between the release of the first two. I don't know. I never saw the full version of Underdog. I saw parts of it in a Costco once. Which that tells you how bad it is. It's like, oh yeah, I'll stop and watch something on Cartoon Network. Oh wait, and I know it was on Cartoon Network at some point, and I just didn't watch it. So I just like watched parts of it in Costco. Dinklage was in that one, wasn't he? Or was that someone else? Did he play Simon? Oh well. Still one of the best theme songs ever. It's like that TV series has probably stayed around because of the catchy as hell theme song. All of them had really catchy theme songs. The only one I don't think ever really caught on in popularity was Peter Penguin or something. The one where the penguin and the walrus would always try to do something, like they tried to make electricity in their house once, and they couldn't figure out, so they always had to go to the professor, and the professor was like, "Oh, you bunch of dumbasses! You just look at my amazing tablet that's 40 years before the tablet will be made." Let's see. There was that one. There was Tom Slick. I remember that's kind of was my favorite one. I remember I liked Tom Slick just a little more than George of the Jungle. And there was like Rocket Ramjet or something. And if they had a premise, they milked it for all it was worth. And then there was Super Chicken. I'm not going to try to sing any of these songs because I'm too tired. I know. Let's see. If you find yourself in danger, if you're threatened by the stranger, if you're afraid, you'll get a licking. Something rescue you, so call Super Chicken. And if you're afraid of danger, you'll have to overlook it. I think that's how it. After all, you knew the job was dangerous when you took it. He will drink a super sauce and throw the bad guys off before lost, and he will bring them alive and kicking. Something. So Saul Super Chicken. I don't know. Whatever. Bakak. Tennessee Tuxedo. Okay, that's what it was. Oh. And McBragg. I love McBragg. He was good too. Before Cartoon Network ran them, they also used to run all those shows in a big bunch on UPN before school. So I would watch them. And Aesop and Son, I like that too. Yeah, I know Claudette has a long arm. She's got a long arm because it's a cartoon. And she's a mime. And she's doing something loony and toony. Let's see. I know someone keeps asking me, what do I think about Ralph Bashki's work? I like it. I mean, it's interesting. I like Wizards, and I like... let's see, what else has he done? He's done Wizards. He did Cool World, which was interesting. And I just screwed up her pattern. There we go. Whew. That could have been a close call. How did I do that over here? Yeah, behind it, I guess. So I could... oh, well. Yeah, I got an idea. Yeah, I'll just do this. What else did Ralph... Help me out here, guys. What else did Ralph Bashki do? Ice and Fire. Fire and Ice, pardon me. Fritz the Cat. Oh, yeah, that's a good one. But actually, that was done by... that was animated by Bashki. That was written by... Crumb. And I kind of contribute more of that success of that to Crumb more than I do Bashki. I mean, it was animated amazingly well, but I like the writing in it. I know there was something about like Sin City or Spicy City or something like that, which was kind of an anthology show. You know, I've never been able to get all the way through Heavy Traffic. I kind of start it and then I fall off of it. A family picture. But I will admit that Wizards is the most family picture of any of his films. If I had to show that movie to anyone in my family, it would be that one. I'm not going to show Grandma Heavy Traffic anytime soon. There we go. I think we have just completed our first drawing on stream. I'm going to go in and, well, maybe I'll just do that here. Here, I'll save it. Someone just mentioned Fritz the Cat was a movie that someone bought them as a kid thinking that it would be okay to watch. That, you know, I'm going to say that's kind of happened to me, but not with that. It happened to me with... And even though I think it is okay for kids, I just think I may have been a little too young for it. If I were maybe a year or two older, I think it would have been fine. And that was Watership Down. You know, the parts with the rabbits choking themselves on barbed wire. I just thought that may have been a little bit too brutal. I think I may have been 2 when it was out. Because I think my parents bought it for me and they were like, here, you can watch this. And I was like, oh boy, the rabbits. And then that happened and I didn't like cry or scream to my mom or anything. It just was something that I was internally kind of bothered me. And of course, I was years later, I was able to process it and get, understand what was happening and why it was happening, and that death existed. Which is weird. There's a Watership Down animated series. And I have a DVD of it somewhere. I have a DVD of the first couple episodes. It was, I don't know what they made it, how they made it, but it's definitely like a more lighter incarnation. Let me close this. Let me open up Clip Studio, which is what I've been using for word bubbles and stuff. I had never seen Plague Dogs. I've never seen Plague Dogs in its fullest. Let's see how I can do this. I go... Oh, just wait a second. Let me open this up. Well, let me export this as a JPEG. But yeah, I Watership Down was okay. The first movie made me cry was Fox and the Hound. That was pretty sad, I think. Snoopy Come Home. You know, one weird. No, I mean Clip Studio. It's a different kind of side program. It's like a stripped down version of. Huh, just wait a second, guys. Hello?
Congratulations. You've been selected to receive a free cruise to the Bahamas. You've heard correctly. It is a cruise to the Bahamas for 2 people. And like most cruises, all the expenses are included. The scientific survey company would like to...
Yeah, right. Did you guys get that? I just want a free cruise. How the hell did they get my cell phone number? I've been giving out my house number. Let's see. Okay, I saved that as a JPEG. I can bring it up in this now. Okay, and then I'll save this again one more time just to make sure that I've got it. Booyah. I want to see your guys' reaction. We did it. We won, guys. We're all going to go on a cruise. Okay, let me figure out how to shift this a little bit. Or, no, I'll just open up another window. Window and capture. I'll make it be Clip Studio. Add to list. Press OK. Yep, and there's Clip Studio. Perfect. Okay. Yeah. Now this is Clip Studio. It's someone mentioned Manga Studio. Yeah, it's kind of like it's a little bit of a stripped down version. It's a little sleeker, maybe even a little bit more clunkier. I like it because you can make your own bubbles, and they'll actually collide with each other, and you can then they got balloon tails. See, and you can do that. You can do that with thought bubbles. Well, that should have blended in. I don't know why I didn't do that, but also there's a bunch of other neat features, and then maybe I'll show it to you later. There's special rulers and perspective rulers. Oh, here's a neat thing. I'll just show it to you while I have it open. Oh, come on, open up. No, I don't want male. I want the female, of course. And this one is clunky. Sometimes it shuts down on me. Hey, look at that. I got my... You can put your own little 3D model in the... Well, come on. Move. I think I got too many programs opening. The thing is that it is a little bit sluggish on... for this program. You can kind of do your own little 3D model. You can move it. Yeah, it's way slow because I've got other programs open and going. But let's get rid of you. You can do that. Where's delete? There you go, delete layer. Okay, I'm just going to go in here. I find this is easier than Photoshop to get in and just put in your text. Question is, which text should I use? Arial black. Yeah, no, that looks a little too... Ain't. How do you spell ain't? I know there ain't no word as ain't, but... Huh, that's weird. I looked up ain't. Oh, come on. How the hell do I twist it? What's going on? Oh, yeah, I got to get out of this. No, what? Huh. Well, you know what? I forgot. There's so many different things in here. I'm going to back out of this. Panic, abort. 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 I told you to abort. No? What the hell is going on? Okay, yeah, this... There we go. Do not save. I'll just open that up in Photoshop later on. But for now, I think we got the basis. I'll just do that. That'll just be a little formality. I don't want to open up a bunch of different programs. I think we've got everything we need here. Wait. Should I put in the tail? I'll put in her tail behind here real quick. Yeah. Maybe like that. But then you don't really see what it is. No, I'll just leave that blank. Yeah, because that's enough of a tail there. We've got her hand. It'll be a message that says, you know, a big ain't it? And then we'll be pointing up towards the hat. Yeah. Maybe not what he had in mind, but that's the thing. He just said, hey, I want her as her and her as a mime. And this, unless, if you're going to commission me, and I'll ask you sometimes, I'll say, is there anything specific you want in the commission, like a kind of pose or a specific kind of outfit? And if they say no, just trust your judgment, or if they don't get back to me, then I'll go forward as planned. But yeah, I think this is good. I think we've finished our first whole drawing. You can find it'll be up soon on DeviantArt. You can follow the link below to find that. Save one more time, and yeah, I think would it take too long to actually draw the words? You know, I don't trust my penmanship that much. So yeah, I'm not gonna do that. But let's see here. Let's just take one more look around the whole thing. There's a hat. There's her face detail. There's her lovely flowers. Yeah, and I think even she turned out real good. I like the kind of goofy smirk she's got. And I like the hair better. Don't you think so? Let's see, where is that? Yeah, I like this hair more than... Actually, I like this hair more. But I like this hair more than her actual on-job model. Where do we go to pay for commissions? If you have I guess if you have like a DeviantArt account, you can contact me there, send me a note. If you have a Tumblr account, you can check me out on well, here, let me just give you a link real quick. Can we put links in the thing? I don't know why I raised my voice. It's like I'm actually trying to get your attention further out. And holy crap, people, my that picture I drew of the Skelebros is really taking off. But here, let me get you that link. Come on, open up. Don't. I guess you can contact me on Tumblr as well. I gotta put all this information in the bottom part. There we go. Here we go. Where is it? Boom. Can we do that? Will this work? Yeah, that'll work fine. You can contact me on Tumblr if you want one. Stability is marginal. It's weird. When I open up a bunch of programs, it starts to lose its get up and go. But But yeah, you can contact me there if you want one. I'm a little behind right now, but I could take on a few more. It's not like I said, I'm not doing that one drawing a day now, so I'll be able to do more of these. In fact, I kind of regret not drawing. I kind of regret not drawing this in front of you guys, which would have been easy. Actually, no, I was getting up a lot. I was getting up, walking around, listening to music while I was doing this, taking my sweet time. But I didn't get any phone calls during that, which is weird. Boy, you can't tell what's going to happen. So, without further ado... Oh, prices are below in the thing. Just look at frequently asked questions, and I'm going to be updating those periodically. Well, without further ado, I guess that is it. I bid you all good night. Thank you for joining me on this first little escapade, and I guess either tomorrow will be a day off or I'll start a new commission. We'll just figure out where to go from there. Anyway, until then, take care of yourselves and good night. Okay, bye.